Thought I'd start recording some of my rides to assist a few learners. Come on, mate. And knowing there'll be a lot more learners coming through and people on restricted bikes longer, thought I'd review some bikes, some gear, answer some stupid questions that I had, so no doubt everyone has, or some people anyway. So yeah, I'll start with my bike. I chose the Hyosung GT250, named Comet in some countries. A couple of reasons I chose this bike over others. One is it's bloody cheap for a brand new bike, under $4,000 right away, all costs, Australian dollars, with a 2-year unlimited K warranty. So for me that was enough, knowing that I'm going to sell it in 12 months time and upgrade my bike. Hyosung also has, it's quite a heavy bike, but it's also a large bike, which to me I wanted to learn on a large bike, because I'll be getting a larger bike, and I'm not a 6'6", but I am a bigger fella, especially around the belly. And the other bikes just felt really small. So some of the other bikes that I've ridden in the learner period, what do we got here? FZ6R, restricted throttle. So that was about $10,000. I've ridden the brand new Duke 390. That's around about 8,000. The Honda BTR 250. So I've had a couple of different rides on bikes. I'm very fortunate that way. So yeah, 250. It's a fuel injected one. Older models of the Hyosung had the carbies. I'd heard a lot of people had problems with them, especially the wiring. But I've had this for this for 3 months now. I've done close to 5,000 Ks, taken it on some long trips. So I've done, the biggest trip was around about 200 Ks, a little bit more, through 100km/h and 110 zones. So with this only having 5 gears, definitely screams its head off at 110. You'll probably sit around about 8,000 revs sometimes. But I did it, and it was okay. Chews a lot more juice. It's extremely fuel efficient in your day-to-day riding. So at the moment, I'm not sure if you can see it, 2 bars down out of about 12 or 10. And I've done 150 Ks on it, which is amazing fuel efficiency. So as I'm a commuter into Melbourne every single day, rain, hail or shine, it's very cheap and free parking as well, so it was a no-brainer for me. Yet, 17 litres it holds, and the design's wide compared to the FZ and especially the Duke. And the BTR is very similar in size, but width, but I tell you, for height, felt like I was on a toy. Back to the Hyosung. So it's a great performer, really. Like, I think Suzuki does the engine, not designs it, but then it's shipped off to be built somewhere else, and obviously costs are saved there, so whether they use different gaskets or cheaper labour, I'm not 100% sure, but something along those lines. Cheaper bits on the bike are the clutch. The clutch cable and handle itself is clearly a cheaper product. The brakes are nowhere near as good a performer as the other brand new bikes, especially the Duke, but it still pulls up when you need to. I like the mirrors, I think they're good. The grips themselves are obviously a cheaper sort of grip, starting to show signs of wear already. The foot pedals are rubber, they're starting to show signs already. But those things can be easily replaced. The look of the bike itself isn't too bad. I don't think it looks too bad at all. I've got the naked one, not the R version. The front of it looks alright. I think the headlight's good, different to previous years. I think the indicators are okay, so you don't need to change them. Stock exhaust, when just starting, sounds like a vacuum cleaner, but with a bit of throttle it does open up a bit, but obviously you can change that. The most popular choices are Two Brothers Racing, or Two Brothers Exhaust, whatever it is, $500–600 I think. I haven't bothered because I don't care that much. Things that annoy me about the bike, and they're only little things, but legally the speedo is allowed to be 10% out plus 4 apparently, according to the laws, and it is. What's out 10% definitely. So if I'm going 60 kilometers an hour, it'll display 66, and I've tested this against various cars and what speed they're doing. Obviously it's not 100% accurate, no one's speedo probably is, but knowing another Hyosung rider, that's the same problem that they've got as well. No big deal really, just know what you're doing. The fuel gauge tells you you're more empty than what you are. There's no reserve tank on this, so it might say you're flashing on the last bar, but you've probably got 5 or 6 litres, so that's probably a good thing rather than a downfall. Makes you get into the servo quicker. Don't you fucking go, bus. Oh, you motherfucker. The seat's quite comfortable actually, it's quite wide. It's good riding position, especially for longer rides. They're more upright. And that's generally the style you'll find for naked bikes, they're more upright, and I'm okay with that. Instrument panel is pretty straightforward. So you've got your tacho, which is analog, and digital, everything else. The other thing that I was surprised about this bike is that there is no temperature gauge on there. So only the 650s come out with temperature gauge, which I thought was very interesting. I've had the clutch adjusted a little bit. Hyosungs have a tendency to have a dry chain a lot of the time, especially depending on the weather you ride through, so it's really handy to keep a bottle of chain lube at home. Basically the Hyosung. Again, with the price, if I chose to pay $4,000, and obviously it's not quite the product of a KTM Duke 390 or a Yamaha or a Honda, but being twice the amount of money, I just couldn't validate that. Couldn't warrant spending that much money on a bike that I knew I was going to sell. And within the 3 period you may want to swap bikes at some stage as well. But as far as the purchase of bike, Hyosung's sometimes got bad rap, but after speaking to a lot of Hyosung owners, that they've all raved about them, said they're great, they got them through the period where they wanted to. So I can't complain, but the choice is ultimately yours. So in future videos I'll talk more in depth about the Duke and the Yamaha and the Honda. Talk about gear, what to wear, when. Talk about some rides that I go on as well. I'm going to be doing a Phillip Island video. I'd say that's going to be a few parts because it's going to be a big weekend, 3-dayer for me. I'm going to be buying some dirt bikes as well, just to get out and about around the Phillip Island, Dandenong sort of area. Some adventures of that. Do some repairs to the bike, so I'll be swapping my standard ugly fender off the Hyosung and putting a tail tidy or a fender eliminator on the back this weekend, so I'll record that. Also love my old HZ 1-tonner. I've been working on that for a couple of years, so maybe a couple of videos around that. Yeah. Stay tuned, subscribe, ask stupid questions and I'll answer them. Like, should you wear your boots on the inside or outside? That's a stupid question, but I didn't know. No one taught me. Someone just told me I look like a dickhead. Anyway, till next time. There she is. Bit dirty, been riding in the rain. I think it looks alright.